machine gun ask him questions. You hammer him, I'll hammer him. We'll just go until he freaks out and leaves.
I like that intro. We'll just machine gun hammer him.
Yeah.
So, ladies, gentlemen, welcome back to Tip of the Spear Real Estate Podcast.
Nice.
Tip of the podcast. All right.
Cheers, gentlemen.
Hey, cheers.
Hey,
Cheers.
salute.
All right.
Hey. Raising with the gun, fading with the gun.
Wait, who do we got in the room?
All right, so we have myself, Nate Landshark Shermer.
Oh, damn. Brian Britton, Tip of the Spear Real Estate Team leader, America, Marine Corps veteran, also America.
Jake Smoke, Marine Corps veteran also. We got a special guest with us today, right?
Yeah, Kyle Melvin from Align Mortgage. How's it going, everyone?
And I forgot, I'm a veteran as well, U.S. Army,
Yeah.
OIF, combat veteran.
Fuck yeah.
So, yeah.
Right.
Good.
So what are we doing, Nate?
We are here to introduce Kyle and Align Mortgage. Amongst other things, of course.
Sure. Amongst beer drinking and jaw-jacking and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Kyle is our preferred loan officer partner with Line Mortgage here in San Diego. Him and I have been working together for a few years now. He's done a great job and he's taken a really good care of our clients. So, him and I have, I would say we've experienced a decent amount of success working together and stuff like that. So we're really happy to have him on board and start, grilling him with a whole bunch of questions and stuff.
Bring him on.
All right.
Oh, he's ready.
He's a go-getter. He
Good.
gets it.
Do it to it.
So, Kyle, how did you get involved with the mortgage industry and lending and veterans? How did this all come about for you?
Yeah, so it's been about 3.5 years for me, almost 4. But I got involved in the mortgage industry because my buddy I grew up with, he is out in Hawaii. He's one of the top producers out there. But I was just working another sales job, and it was just mundane, and I was looking for a change. So I talked to him a little bit. I knew he was doing well. He introduced me to the owner of Align Mortgage, Chris Cano. So I met with him. It was about a 2-hour conversation. I didn't even know I wanted to get into the mortgage industry, but after just meeting him and seeing what their vision was, I knew I just wanted to be a part of it. So I joined basically the next day, started studying for my test right away, and that's how I joined the company. It's VA focused though, just because the owner I mentioned, Chris Cano, he served 12 years in the Navy. Our other owner, Tony Diaz, who's out in Hawaii, he served 4 years in the Marine Corps. So their mission has always been to serve veterans. We have a saying, those who defended our country deserve to own a piece of it. So that's been our mission, and helping veterans has been my goal as well. So
Nice. You're not a veteran yourself, but you have veterans in your family?
yeah, so both my granddads served. My mom's side, my granddad was in the Marine Corps in the 60s, served in Korea. And then also my dad's grandpa, he was actually a bombardier in World War II. He was actually a POW, got captured, plane shot down, captured in Austria. So he was captured then. But yeah, then just dates back to these family members and stuff like that. So that's why it's cool to be a part of the community and how big it is in San Diego. So
Absolutely.
We do have a pretty big vet community here, so that's, it's definitely a lot of folks to, help out and stuff like that, so.
yeah, and one thing we say too, is just the education piece we like to focus on here, because not a lot of active duty or veterans know about their benefit, or they might know about it, but there's just a bunch of myths surrounding it,
Right, or they're misled.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a lot of folks out there that try to speak to it, but aren't very experienced.
Sure.
They're not the experts
Yeah.
in the field.
There's even a lot of old information now, how many
Right.
times has a VA loan changed since it first started post-World War II, So a lot of there's a lot of agents out there that even, claim that they know everything about the VA loan and they've been doing it for umpteen million years and stuff, but all their information's old too. So the idea of like you can only use it one time or you have to live there forever. Like that's all old stuff, man. That hasn't been around for a long time.
Exactly, and it turns into a game of telephone, right? Like I tell you something, and then with misinformation, then you tell someone else, and they tell someone. So I mean, that's where it all comes from, really. I mean, we worked a deal. I think it was a year ago, maybe 2 years ago, but the seller's agent didn't want to accept our client's offer because it was VA. Once I got on the phone with him, I talked to him for about 10 minutes. He thought his sellers had to pay the closing costs, which is one of those myths out there that's not true. Thought the escrow period was going to be 45 to 60 days, which, we're closing them in 21 days here. So, after I spoke with him for about 10 minutes, we were able to get our offer accepted over the others because he himself had military ties with, I think he served, and also his son was in the Navy or something like that. But just a simple conversation like that can really change their mindset and what they think about the VA loan.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's very common that sellers are just scared, effectively, and they believe that, conventional or an FHA product, loan product, is better than a VA product, which is not accurate.
Yeah, no, I would definitely agree with that. I mean, like I touched on, we can close confidently any VA loan within 21 days. So, I mean, that turnaround time is pretty quick.
That's most of our deals that we've done together have been that.
Yeah.
So what do you guys do here to help educate agents on the VA loan process?
Yeah, no, good question. So we have VA buyer-focused home loan seminars about once a month. So that's a regular thing. Those are, like I said, buyer-focused, so non-soliciting, it's just to get them the education piece I was talking about. However, we always encourage the realtors to actually attend those as well. Because like we're talking, it starts with, a lot of times someone will, hey, I want to buy a house. Who's the first person they talk to? They talk to a real estate agent. So if the real estate agent is the one, carrying that misinformation, it's good to have them there as well. So, they have the knowledge to share to these potential clients as well. So we do that. They have the agents show up to that. They can show up with their clients or just come. But like I said, it's non-soliciting. It's just trying to get the education piece. Also, we have, just these random one-offs, just VA knowledge seminars or briefs, for agents as well.
Very cool. And typically when you hold these seminars, don't you provide like refreshments and stuff like that too?
Yeah, it is.
That's a big thing for veterans.
Yeah, right. Feed us and you got us there.
Yeah, I mean, we don't entice them with any beer or anything like that. It's probably some water, some coffee, lemonade, and food. But yeah, that will be provided as well. So free food and drinks if nothing else.
There we go.
And knowledge.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's kind of the important part there too, right?
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Some people just come for the food, believe it or not. Though we've had a couple of agents just show up and just eat food and didn't look like they had any reason being there.
Really?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Free food, what? I'm in. Hey, you can do that, man.
Yeah, one guy dropped just crumbs all over our office. I remember it just kept, are there more donuts back there? And just kept going back. Yeah, so.
You're like, right on, thanks for coming, bud.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, I think that guy reminded me, I mean, I don't think he had any military affiliation or ties, so I think that's kind of important, is connecting with those agents that really are doing it for the right reason. You mentioned our San Diego community being very military heavy. Obviously, it's the number one in the nation. But a lot of agents will see, oh, there's all these military, I can use this for clients. But they're in it for the wrong reason. So you really want to connect with an agent that cares about you, cares about your family, and about, like we talked, the education piece.
Well, 100%, Typosphere Real Estate Team, we lead by providing value and education first and foremost, right? Yeah. I mean, we sit down and talk with our clients prior to anything else. Yeah. And I can speak for Brian, I can speak for myself, and I think everybody else at this table. It's not about the paycheck. It's about providing that value and providing the most accurate and best knowledge that we can pass down.
Absolutely. What do we always say? Do the right thing first and money will follow, right?
Right.
Yeah.
100%.
It's a good motto.
I think so.
Yeah, I like it.
Made it up myself.
I think I've heard that before.
Or stole it from somebody.
Saw it on a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Next year for 2020, are you aware of any changes that are coming down regarding the VA home loan product?
Yeah, so the Blue Water Act, which I'm sure a few people have heard of about that. So the important thing to note about that one is Congress passed the Vietnam Blue Water Act. So what that is going to do, in their eyes, essentially is One, it's going to change the VA funding fee, so I can talk about that in a minute. But anyone that has their full entitlement, they can do 0% down payment, so 100% financing with their VA entitlement to purchase a home. No county loan limit. So this year in 2019, there was a VA county loan limit, 0% down up to $690. And that's gone up each year with inflation. But with this act, essentially what it does is just get rid of that county loan limit. The important thing to note with that, though, is the stipulation is they have to have their full entitlement. So say you already own a home and it's tied to the VA loan. You already used your VA loan on it, so it's tied to your entitlement. So any kind of second-tier entitlement, you're going to have to use. So you might have to do a down payment for your other home. But if you have your full entitlement, meaning you've never used your VA home loan, or say you purchased a home 5 years back and you're selling it or sold it, you got your entitlement fully reinstored. So at that point, you'll actually be able to purchase beyond the county loan limit at 100% financing.
So let's say somebody owns a house right now, right? And they have, what is it, the 79% loan to value, so that they would be able to refinance out of a VA loan, get into a conventional loan without having to pay mortgage insurance, because they've used it before, but now their entire entitlement is basically reinstalled or reinstated. Would they be able to take advantage of that benefit?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. So it's not just for first timers.
Not just for first timers. No.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so you could do for a one-time re-entitlement or restore of your full entitlement, and then you could purchase, say, an $800,000 house if you qualify. Obviously, there's other factors like the credit score and debt-to-income ratio that we take into account with any loan. But yeah.
So you're saying that I can't just finance $1 million house without a job?
I mean, you can, but you have to find the right person to loan you the money.
Right.
I think that'd be a 25% interest rate.
That's
on that one.
That's a nice loan shark down the street in the back alley by your house kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, Jake, good question though, because like I did said, so the Congress did pass that. However, the investors, like Ginnie Mae, the ones that come up with the guidelines, they haven't really told us as lenders what that means to us. So what guidelines that are going to be within that. So they're really, even though Congress passes something, they're not the ones lending the money. So
Gotcha.
Ginnie Mae, lenders are still waiting for Ginnie Mae to come up with some certain guidelines saying, hey, they can do, purchase a $1.5 million home, 0% down, but maybe the debt-to-income ratio has to be 45%.
Right.
So we're still waiting on that, which it's coming down to 2020 since we're hoping to see it soon, right? But
yeah, hopefully they have some news for us on that sometime. I've been chomping at the bit, just waiting. So you'd mentioned property investors. Of course, every Marine Lance Corporal with a get-rich-quick scheme in his head is going to be like, I'm going to buy 1 million houses with $0 and just rent them all out and make buku bucks, right?
Yeah, exactly. And the thing we're going to see with that too, I'm sure, is, hey, I'm going to buy a 4-unit. I'm going to live in one, rent the other 3 out, for $2 million, buy it for $2 million, rent them all out, pay the mortgage on the one. But like I said, there's going to be certain stipulations, and I'm sure the amount of units is going to be one of those that you could buy with the property.
Sure.
Interesting.
Good. So what about, I guess another question that I have, because this whole thing's got my gears turning as well.
It's good information.
Yeah, absolutely. So are you going to be able to only use that one time, or is it going to be just like normal VA loan where you can use it as many times as you want as long as you can afford it type thing?
Yeah, I mean, it all comes with the entitlement, right? So I'm sure if they hypothetically buy a house for $1.2 million, 0% down, they're not going to be able to just go out and buy another one for 0% down. That's one of the things we're still waiting, like I said, with the guidelines and whatnot. But I mean, I don't see that changing too much.
Okay.
So.
And then you had also mentioned debt to income ratio, and like, for example, you said 45%. Is there an ideal ratio for that, or is it? And what does it depend on?
I mean, so yeah, debt to income ratio as lenders, we really that's why we ask for the income statements. That's why we pull the credit, is because we want to know what's on your credit report now. Meaning, do you have a car payment? Do you have a house payment? Student loans, credit card debt. What we're really looking at with that is how much you owe each month. We're not looking at what the total balance is. We're just looking at what the monthly payment is. And that's why we ask for the pay stubs too, because we're gonna calculate how much you actually make per month. So that's how much money is coming in each month and how much money is already obligated going out. Then we add in that hypothetical home payment for the loan you're applying for. That's why we get the debt to income ratio. So There is no guideline, actually. The VA doesn't set a limit on debt to income ratio, which is a misconception, which I always thought.
It's good to know.
Yeah, so what they actually go off of is what is called residual income. So debt to income ratio, we're just calculating your gross, which, as we know, the government likes to take their taxes, right? So no one actually gets the gross.
Nope.
Unless you're avoiding taxes, then you might end up in jail. However, what we look at with the VA guideline is we're looking at residual income. So we look at how much you make per month, and then we look at after taxes. So that's really, we calculate how many dependents you have, what your family size is what that means, and then how much you need to live on each month. Once you make your mortgage, make sure you make your other payments, like car payments I mentioned. Do you still have enough to go buy groceries? Do you still have enough to pay your electric bill? So as far as debt to income ratio, I mean, it's going to be different for every single person. So it's dependent. And some of the money, like talking about to our active duty and VA disability, people that are rated and get that monthly VA disability pay, I mean, we can gross that up to 125%. So debt to income ratio isn't always accurate because that's non-taxable money, right? So we know that, let's say you're getting $2,000 a month from the VA for your disability pay. For a civilian, that'd be more like $4,000 a month. You know what I mean? So debt to income ratio doesn't accurately reflect what you're actually getting in your bank account.
Okay.
Because that's non-taxable money.
Right.
So.
It's never a simple, straightforward answer, right?
No, I mean, it seems like there's always some kind of gray line, but it's always so client and buyer specific. You know what I mean? That's why it's important to talk to a knowledgeable real estate agent, talk to a knowledgeable lender, because there's always different scenarios. You know.
Right, 100%. Totally correct there in the sense where we'd have clients be like, the numbers are all over the place. Why they're not precise, and they're not precise until after you close effectively, like 100%. It's interesting.
Yeah, no. I mean, there's just so much involved in the transaction where a lot of people, I think they just don't realize how much goes on behind the scenes.
Right.
I mean, which isn't like lenders are trying to hide things, but it's also, if they knew everything, they'd kind of freak out.
Head would explode.
And it's our job to shield them.
Yeah.
From that.
Yeah. I mean, the real estate agent, the lenders, they're not trying to hide anything. They're just trying to make the transaction and the experience as good as they can for the consumers. So some people don't even want to know anything. Like, hey, is my loan approved? That's all. Some people are very analytical. They want to know every single step. So it kind of, like you guys on the real estate side, you see both people and in between. So you got to kind of play to each client.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's folks out there that, when we go over contracts or go over purchase agreements or listing agreements or whatever the case may be, they want to sit and read every single page of that 27-page document line for line before they're ready, and they're going to ask a million questions, which is great. And again, that's what we're here for, to answer questions and make sure they're comfortable. But just like you said, there's other folks out there just like, yeah, whatever, give me the pen. Let's do this thing. I want a house. You know what I mean? And it's different strokes for different folks, and either way is fine.
And I wondered, in the real estate business, everything's negotiable. How about in the lending business? Not to throw you under the bus.
What specifically though? I guess is what I'm.
Let's say you tell someone.
I can take that so many different ways, right? Yeah.
I mean, we could go a couple different angles, but let's just go with debt to income. If you tell someone that their debt to income ratio is too high, can they negotiate that with you?
No, I mean, so it's one of those things where numbers don't lie, right? That's why, depending on what type of job they have, whether they're a contract worker, part-time, seasonal, if they're, they've been with the company for 1 month, whether they've been with the company for 10 years, we ask for different paperwork depending on the circumstance. I mean, even, are you in sales, because, I mean, we know that those can be ebbs and flows as a salesperson. So you can make $100,000 one year as a salesperson. The next, you might just crack 35. So that's why we ask for certain documents, because we take an average. But with the debt to income ratio, I mean, it doesn't. Numbers don't lie. But
right.
also with that being negotiable is you could lower the loan amount and then that lowers the DTI, debt to income. So,
Okay.
I mean, that technically could be negotiable on that.
They couldn't tell you, hey, I'm going to eat ramen noodles for the next year to make up for this, or I'm going to ride my bike instead of taking a car.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, that would be with the residual income, right? Like how much money they have left to live. You know, say they have $30 a month. Like, oh, I'll eat ramen noodles. You know, we look out for the veterans, so we want to make sure that they could tell us that, but that won't fly on that one.
It's good to know. You're still looking out for their health and welfare too.
Yeah, exactly. Because like you guys said, your guys' motto that Brian came up with.
I came up with it.
Do the right thing, the money will follow. You know, I mean, that's our business is based off of client referrals. You know, so I believe in honesty and transparency, and you know, over communication with my clients. And you know that experience usually leads to a good one, and then you know they'll refer their friends, you know, their sailors, their fellow Marines, to us.
You know, and I think, Brian, to tap into that, most of our business has been referrals thus far.
Yeah, a lot.
You know, with the military community, whether it's an Air Force CAD, an Army CAD, you know, even Coast Guard, won't hold it against you, Navy.
Try not to. At
You
least.
know, we all have that common bond, that connection, one way or another. So you get connected with a Navy, you know, person, purchase a home, they're going to refer you, if you do a great job at it, and we do, right? They're going to refer you out to their friends, and you just got to put in the work, put in the effort, and do the right thing, and show that value.
So one thing that we know about the military is if you're on the inside, you're on the inside, right? If you're in, you're in. But if you're out, you're out, right? And there's a good reason for it. And I've discussed this in other places before as well, that you see outside of military bases, you see a lot of predatory type folks, you know, used car lots at 25% interest, strip clubs, you know, just loan sharks, people that are just out to try to take your money.
Right.
So when you get this like young, you know, PFC or young Lance Corporal or young, I don't know, brand new seaman or whatever, straight into the military, first time at Camp Pendleton or 32nd Street or Coronado or Miramar or whatever, and they walk right outside the base, first time they've ever been out of their whatever, where they come from, you know, and they walk right outside the base and they see all these people are just trying to take their money, you know, that kind of speaks volumes on and gives them an idea that, you know, everybody outside the gate's out to get them. Well, I think what a lot of folks don't see and don't understand is there are those of us that have been there and done that also, right? And that even though we're not in anymore, even though we're still on the outside, we're still, you know, doing what we do for the right reasons. You know, we're still here to try to take care of folks, try to protect them from, you know, from bad deals and stuff like that. Because, I mean, shit, I was brand new in the Marine Corps at one point, and I wish somebody else would have pointed me in the right direction, kind of the way we do with our clients, you know? So...
Absolutely.
So Kyle, I've one question, or I have another question for you, and this may be just a topic of discussion. So there's with us, say brand new buyers or people that want to buy a house or whatever the case may be, there's a few things that we require before we just go out and show houses, right? One of those things is a pre-approval from a lender. Do you want to maybe kind of explain what that is, what that means, and what the importance and the benefit of actually having that prior to going out and looking at houses would be?
Yeah, absolutely. So to get started on that, I want to differentiate what a pre-qual and a pre-approval is.
Yes.
Because a lot of times people say pre-approval when they're not actually pre-approved. Like, oh, I met with a lender, I'm pre-approved, you know, and you actually ask them and they're not. And what the difference is really is the pre-qual is you saying, yeah, hey, I make $4,000 a month. My credit score is this. I have about $10,000 in my bank account. And then you go in, you know, if a lender actually doesn't do their due diligence to collect those documents to verify the information, they could issue the pre-approval letter. You get into contract for that home. And then what's going to happen? They actually ask for those documents because they need to verify that. And then you're 2 weeks into escrow and you find out, hey, like, I'm not actually qualified for this home. So that's why it's really important to get the full pre-approval done. And that's going to be, I mean, it's pretty simple stuff. It's your driver's license, pay stubs or LES, last 2 years of W-2s, sometimes the tax returns, depending on what the job is, and then bank statements. I mean, so those things right there, I mean, the average person can probably collect those, you know, in a day at least, you know, I mean, just hop online and download. Most of those stop by the bank. But
Sure.
I mean, that is really the important part, is to provide those to your lender to actually take a look and to verify all that information. And it's not because they don't believe you, but it's because we're going to need to provide that stuff anyway. So you want it nice and tight. You want to actually get that pre-approval letter, and when you're going out there shopping, you want to know that you're actually approved for that home you're looking at,
and that you can afford it.
Yeah, exactly. Not just the, hey, I'm pre-approved up to this amount, but what does a monthly payment look like for that?
Right.
You don't want to get yourself in a bad situation, and be underwater where you are where you need to be eating ramen noodles, So that's a really important part too, is because you can go get approved for a $50,000 car, but maybe you only want a payment for a $25,000 car. Same thing with a home loan, but just on a larger scale.
Right, and that's something that I've heard other agents complain about in the past, where they're out showing their clients $700,000, $800,000 houses, and then they get a pre-approval and they find out that they're pre-approved for $500,000, or that they only want to pay $500,000. Well, what shoots their own buyers in the foot is, or what shoots, I should say, their clients in the foot, is that now this client's got $800,000 expectations and they're only qualified to buy a $500,000 house. That kind of is very deflating for clients,
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And I think the key with that is setting the expectations, setting the understanding that this is one of the very first steps in the process. We need to have this completed before we go out there and spend this time and effort.
Yeah, for everyone
Their time
involved.
is valuable.
Yeah,
Everybody's
everyone involved. Mm-hmm.
First, it's huge.
Yeah, absolutely. To answer your question on the pre-approvals?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. All right.
That's good.
So make sure you get fully pre-approved.
by a reputable lender.
Yeah.
That is huge.
Yeah.
There's a million.
Preferably at a line mortgage, but
Preferably Kyle Melvin at Lime Mortgage here in San Diego. Best in the business.
Shameless plug, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, and that's another thing. There's all kinds of different loan companies out there that, offer all kinds of different products. So one thing that I know about Aligned that you guys do that makes you a lot more competitive than other folks is that there's no origination fee with you guys. For the most part, y'all's rates are really, really competitive, if not beat out your competition, which is fantastic. The other thing, and arguably the most important thing, is that you guys actually know how to perform. You guys know how to do your jobs.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. And it's one of those things where all we do, for the most part, 99% of the loans I do are VA, right? So I always compare that to, say someone's going to meet with a financial advisor, right? You want someone that's going to handle your money, set you up for retirement. Would you want to hire a financial advisor that just does it part-time, or, a couple hours a day, if that? That's my comparison, is you want someone that knows VA loans inside and out. And I would also want to talk with you guys as real estate agents. Your clients probably don't want someone that has a full-time job and that, just does real estate like here and there. You want someone that knows the industry left and right, knows what the purchase is like for a VA buyer.
Yeah, absolutely. And somebody that actually spends some time, spends their time, effort, and energy learning VA loans and learning, the whole VA process, because it's substantially different than FHA or conventional. And not to mention the fact that the client themselves are usually different than FHA conventional clients. They have, active duty has op tempo, they have deployments, they have EAS, ETS, they have, TAD orders, they have all the acronyms under the sun that dictates what their daily life is. So those military families have enough stress on their, on their shoulders that they don't need to have to worry about, somebody that may or may not know what they're doing, being the person to represent them, right?
Yeah, no, I agree.
So that's, hire somebody, or I shouldn't say hire because we don't really hire each other, but it's kind of more along the lines of, find somebody that you want to work with, that you get along with, but it's also knowledgeable. Find a lender that you want to work with, but also for sure that they can do what they do. That they can close their deals and that they're going to really take care of you. That's the whole name of the game, right? Made that up. Do the right thing first. Money will follow. I made it up myself.
It's a partnership.
Yeah.
We're here to fight for our clients. Bottom line.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to. If we're not doing that, we're not serving them in the best way we can possible.
Yeah, I agree.
Hell yeah.
All right, gentlemen. So we're we're at about the 30-minute mark, so let's wrap it up. If you guys have any other last thoughts, or how can they contact you at Align Mortgage?
Yeah, so again, it's Kyle Melvin at Align Mortgage. My phone number is 619-728-9296, or at kyle.melvin@alignmortgage.com. So if you have any questions, whether you're looking to purchase in the near future or maybe 2 years from now, and you want to attend one of our seminars, or just, like I said, have any general questions, feel free to contact me, and I'll be able to direct you to the right person.
So Kyle's also on our website, tipofthespearrealtors.com. You can find him there. He's got a link to his pre-approval page and all his information there as well. So
Awesome.
Well, gentlemen, thank you for having me. It's been fun.
For all you barrel-chested freedom fighters,
Freedom Fighters, America.
Cheers.
Cheers.